Oh, wrong layout. There we go.
Hi.
Hello, ladies.
Hello. There we are.
Oops.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
How is it going? This way? Or, okay, I'm playing with it. I like this one. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, exciting. That'll be fun, Jennifer.
I was looking forward today. I'm so glad to see you.
Today, big news for us. They're allowing people in our backyards.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
That's going to be great. But poor Melbourne, I think they're in lockdown or are headed for lockdown, I think. That's from what I heard on news or in Instagram stories. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Cookie lunch break is on. Today we have some fun stuff prepared for you.
And let's so normally there's only two of us that are decorating, so Amber's manning the control. So here, do your little spiel, Amber.
Okay. Yeah, so I just came out with a new Royal Icing class. This is a pre-recorded class. It goes over everything from how to make Royal Icing to thinning it down to the different consistencies and flooding a cookie. So that is going to be on sale for the next 24 hours, and that's in my coffee shop. It's normally $25, and you'll be able to get it for $15 for the next 24 hours. And it comes with the cookie and icing recipe. It comes with a Royal Icing guide, very detailed, printable guide, and a supply list for what you need to make it. And that's in the coffee shop.
So the coffee links are scrolling at the bottom, but here, let me pop them up here. If you guys are wondering what the coffee shop is, that's where you find the goodies, the backup. What happened there? Is that better?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so I'll take over. So the coffee shop is where we have our templates. I have recipes there? I don't know if you have recipes.
I'm going to start putting up recipes. This week I put on actually Halloween themed template for vampire teeth.
Oh, exciting!
Because Halloween is around the corner, right? And it's good to start ahead of time, getting your stuff ready, what you're gonna make. So I have. Yes, Jeremy, we can see you are enjoying it very much. While Marlyn is working out the technical issues with the sound, let me see. I have in my coffee shop, I prepared for you guys my supply list for today's project. So I don't have this particular cutter that I use. So I actually use the two cutters to create the shape. But in my coffee shop, you will be able to get a template that includes this shape instead of using two cutters. If you don't have either mason jar or I use a small rectangular cutter to add a handle. So that's all in coffee shop available for you guys. And it's I believe it's priced at $3. Supply list is free, and it's a clickable supply list, so you guys can click on the images and it will take you to the Amazon shop where you can shop for all the tools that I used in today's tutorial. So Marlyn looks like she's back. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, we haven't seen you in so long. What's up?
Like, it's the same settings, same everything.
We know it. You don't have to tell me anything. I'm expecting something to happen like right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with my project just so we don't jinx it.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to. How do I? Can you do the dance?
Amber, because I'm dealing on my side.
Oh, sure. Let me see if I can do it.
How do I remove you all?
No, we just have to do that and then
there we go. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Here are my hands. All right, so today, oh, I forgot to do this. I've got this little 3D,
Here,
So cute.
there.
3D, like you can
I
sip
love
it.
it.
And I'm going to show you what's inside. I'm actually going to build this together with you guys today. But
Cool.
I don't know why I was, okay, so let's start with the beginning. So this is the cookie. Remember I was telling you about the Frankie cookie? So I used a mason jar and a small rectangular cookie to add the handle. And then using edible marker, this is a sweet sugar bell edible marker. It's also included in a supplies list in the coffee shop. I draw the outline on a cookie. Now, if you are making a lot of these, I would suggest that you make yourself a little template, like a paper template or cardstock template, just so all the cookies look kind of same. Now I'm adding a line of icing. This is going to help me prevent cratering in my icing, especially in those narrow sections. And we have to let that crust, okay? And once that crust, we can start outlining and flooding. I'm going to be doing lots of wet on wet. So I'm using 15-second consistency royal icing here. Starting with blue. This is just sky blue. Add just a tiny bit to your white icing. You don't want it to be too dark. And then we're going to flood this section that I just outlined. And if you're not familiar, for those of you who are new to the cookie decorating, if you don't know what 15-second consistency is, I have a detailed tutorial on my blog that covers all the different consistencies and how to achieve them. Basically, it means when you run a spatula through your icing or when you pull the icing from a bowl and you let it fall into the bowl, it will heal in about 15 seconds. And to make sure that you get the right consistency, you don't want to add too much water at once. I find that's the most problematic thing when the beginner adds too much water. And now immediately after you flood with blue, I'm adding, this is electric pink. Look how bright and pretty that is.
Beautiful.
This is also 15-second consistency. And then I'm going to add lighter shade pink. And it's also 15-second. All right, so now I am using, this is a boo-boo stick. It's a thicker scribe. I like to use it when I'm marbling because it works quicker than a fine tip scribe. I'm gonna give it a little shake to smooth it out. And now we're gonna start with watermelons. So again, this is 15 seconds. And when doing wet on wet, try to make the opening on a piping bag smaller. Because when you make it too big, then you have very little control over your icing.
And what is that color used for the watermelons?
I'm sorry, that's just red. That's red.
Okay,
I used red, so there is a contrast in the color, so it would be visible. And then I added white, and I'm just adding green.
Love it.
And then for the seeds, if you don't feel like making black, you can do the seeds with marker after everything dries. I decided to use black royal icing. And now on to the ice cubes. That is frequently asked question. So when I make ice cubes, I am using today white icing, and I am basically drawing shapes. This is a cube, right? So you just want to kind of, you don't have to be exact with the shapes, but approximately, So it kind of resembles an ice cube. So I'm gonna do 3 ice cubes here at the top. And then we can add small pieces, kind of like ice throughout, like this. And then I am going to let this crust, although you don't necessarily have to let it crust because we will be outlining with black later on, but I did crust it. So once that's crusted, we can add the handle. Handle in the template that is included in the coffee shop, it's shaped. It's not rectangular like this one, so you get an exact shape. You don't have to avoid the corner like I'm avoiding it here. And then you can fill in with the blue. Thank you. I had so much fun making these. This was
Yeah.
actually Marlyn's suggestion. I have to give her credit. She said to make. We were debating like what do I do. So she suggested watermelon mason jar. She was very adamant that I add the handle, so I did add the handle.
Yeah, I love the handle.
The only thing I regretted I didn't add was the straw into the cookie before it was baked. Because
Well, I like what you did though.
It would complete the whole. Like I made these cookies and then I made the piñata. I'll show you the piñata in a second.
Okay.
How we're gonna build them. So the only regret is that I didn't add the straw there.
We had a question about the size of the. Oh yeah, do you want to explain what you're doing here first, and then?
So now I'm just gonna do the lid. See, I didn't like the line how it came out, so I'm gonna scrape it off. And this is a really useful tool. If you don't have this tool, I really urge you to get it. It's super cheap, and get a couple of them, and you're gonna love it. It's great. It's great for scraping off the icing. It's great for marbling, a lot of different things. Now I'm just going to use the same blue. And we're gonna do the lid. We had watermelon lemonade. Oh, yum. Wow. Thank you so much for tuning in at such an early or late hour. That's amazing.
Well, you can watch the recording if you want to go to sleep. You can always come back and watch it later.
But we do appreciate.
Yes, thank you for
staying up
for
us. That is so sweet. See, now I'm using a fine tip scribe tool. So I do find that the thickness of the scribe does make a difference depending on what you're doing. For really fine details, I like to use fine scribe. Thanks, Amy. All right, and then we have to let that dry. So while that's drying, I'm also going to prepare a little watermelon. To make these cookies, I cut out rounds and I just cut them in half. Super simple. This cookie looks a little brown. I left it in the oven for a bit longer, but it is still edible. I actually, now over the years, I learned to appreciate caramelization more.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because I was always, they have to be like super white and, like really, really pale. But now I do actually like them to be slightly brown around the edges. They taste so good, huh?
Yeah.
So now I'm just adding some detail using the scribe tool and just doing a zigzag, blending the dark green into the light green. And immediately I'm going to go in with white. And this is also 15-second consistency. So for all this project, notice that I'm only using 15-second consistency. And then the last step, that's what I'm going to be showing you live. It's actually outlining with like piping consistency realizing. So if you don't feel like making different consistencies, you can definitely get away using just one consistency. And this project is perfect for that. And this is also red. This is the same red I use for the watermelons. I'm not calling it. What's the drink called? Is this what? This is not a watermelon lemonade. Watermelon. What is it called, Mar?
What is it you're saying?
What's the drink called with the watermelon? Watermelon what? Slushy?
I think you could there's versions of everything. You can make watermelon sangria, or there's watermelon lemonade. I mean, people
what
make.
What do you call it, guys? Let us know in the comments.
This was a margarita, I think. This was a version of the watermelon margarita too, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, very good, very good.
When we were looking for the graphic.
We are on the alcohol again. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody always brings that up. But what would you call it, guys? Let us know in the comments. Now this is
how about cute?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a spread that it's not necessary, but it can be pretty.
Well, it's all about the details,
Yes, it's not necessary. Dots are pretty, that's enough. This is a really, really tiny cookie. All right, so now I'm here.
All right, let's answer some questions before you go.
So as you saw, I iced these.
Can we? Yes, let's go over some questions first before you.
Okay, absolutely.
There was one question about how do you get the hole in your bag so small? They were wondering if you use a needle
No, I don't use a needle. So coincidentally, I have a bag here.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not filled with icing, so never mind that. But what I always do, like I always say, find a seam, especially if you are using a tipless bag, find a seam on your bag, press it in the middle. Imagine this is filled with icing, okay?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
now, can you guys see right now?
Kind of.
I just use scissors. You don't want to start here. You want to start, small.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you get a small opening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, normally when you use wet on wet, it may appear, oh, this is so small, how am I going to get icing out? But because it's fluid icing and you're piping it into the wet base, immediately you'll see how it's spreading. So if your opening is too big, then you won't be able to add as many details. If you're working on like the watermelon shape, it has to be kind of like triangular and little dots. So that's how I make the opening.
Okay. Thank you. And then the tools were you use the scribe tool and the other one is
cool. And I don't, unfortunately, I don't have the. I forgot it in my studio. I don't have the boo boo stick. Maybe Mar, do you have it somewhere on hand?
It's not in my list. It's actually called a two-ended tool. That's the
yes, it is two or one or two in one.
I don't know.
Two in one tool. Yeah, that might be it. And CK actually makes it. There, Amber has one.
So Amber is showing you the tool. So this is the tool.
CK is the manufacturer of that product.
Oh, okay. Actually, okay, never mind. All right. So, and this is a fine tip needle tool. It's very sharp. This is very sharp. This is made by my dear friend June. She's opening her Etsy shop, I think, in June. June is opening her Etsy shop in June. How catchy! So it's quite beautiful and it's very sharp, and I like to use sharp ones for small details and stuff. All right, so here is the cookie. This is completely dry, you see? It's completely dry. So now I'm going to, and this is really fun, watermelon spritzer, yes. I haven't had watermelon. We bought a watermelon small one at the market 2 weeks ago, and it was terrible. I had to throw it out. So somebody suggested just to get the big watermelon. So I'm waiting, maybe when we are more in a season, it will be tastier. So now I'm going to actually use, this is edible marker. This is edible marker. You've seen me use this over and over many times. This is rainbow dust edible marker. It's a dual tip. So one side, if you haven't seen these, it has this super fine tip. This is not a regular office marker, folks, okay? If you are new to cookie decorating, this is filled with edible food color, and it's suitable to use with cookies, cakes, and fondant, etc. So this is the other side. Today I'm going to use the very fine tip. And I'm going to start with the watermelons. Can you see okay, or should I zoom that in? Is this okay?
Yeah.
Okay, very well. All right, how are we on time?
Oh, you're good.
This is really fun. I love doing this technique because you see how much of a difference it makes.
Yeah, it really
when
makes
you do a simple outline. Now, if you're doing a lot of these, I would probably suggest that you put like a small a hand towel or something folded here so you can rest your wrist on it, so you're not constantly, like having to lift it up. I learned that trick from they do pancake art.
Oh yeah,
yes, we met years ago in New York, and he said that was his biggest thing, like how am I gonna do it? So he uses a folded towel, and he rests his wrist on it, or hand or something, so he can comfortably pipe.
And tell us the brand of this marker again.
This is Rainbow Dust.
Okay. Thank you.
They changed the packaging. I went on Amazon and they changed the packaging of their marker. So these are the watermelons, and now we can start with the ice cubes. So ice cubes, I'm going to Now remember, ice cubes, once they start melting, they lose their shape, right? So
Yes.
you don't have to be too fussy. It doesn't have to be super perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I want to try, I haven't tried it, instead of using white, you could use, for the outlines, you could use like a light, well, in this case, maybe pinkish color or some other color, or even light gray for the outlines. And then you wouldn't have to use the marker, I think. But I haven't tried it that way. All right, so this one, let's see. I'm just going to go this way. Okay.
Have fun, Jennifer. Thanks for watching. And you used flood consistency for all of the colors, right?
Everything is flat consistency. Okay. If your icing is thicker, then it's not going to sink into the base.
Mm-hmm.
Now, depending on how fast you can work, you could, I mean, and the size of the cookie, you could use 20 seconds, but then again, if you're not working fast enough, or if it's too hot, or if you have fan running close by, you know, it will start crusting fairly quickly for you.
Yeah.
All right, so I've done this, and the next step, we're going to, I'm just going to get my piping bag. Today, I am using, this is a PME tip. It's also included in the supplies. This is 1.5. So I had the icing yesterday in this bag. I'm just gonna give it a little massage. Hopefully it's not clogged. I had it actually in, I usually store them like this in a food wrap, like tightly, you know, covered.
Mm-hmm.
It's clogged.
Mm-hmm.
So to unclog it, I'm not using anything super sharp because I'm afraid these go for about $5-6. These tips, PME tips, they are seamless tips. They're expensive, but they are really high quality tips. Okay. So you see, this icing is not as fluid as my flood. And look how pretty it's coming out of the bag.
Yeah. Really nice.
All right. So now I'm going to, all right, I'm gonna try to get a little closer here so I can see. All right.
This is so common to watch.
Is it? Thank you. Oops. I went a little off.
Nobody would ever know.
Now the top I'm going to do in two, I'm going to create two lines. So I'm doing the oval shape at the top here. Okay, so Now I would suggest that you don't mess around with it, because what I often do, I try to move it and look at it, and then I kind of touch the outline and then it's messed up.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to let this dry for about 20 minutes and it should be good to go.
Looks awesome.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you the piñata cookies. So can you guys guess what I put inside of the piñata cookies? Oh, I'm going to do that later. So the piñata cookies, they kind of fell apart a little bit. Because I tried to make the opening a little too big. Yes?
Can you zoom, like, put your yeah, a little bit. No, the other way. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, better.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now you can see all the 3 cookies. So this is supposed to be 1 cookie, okay? Now, for whatever reason, it didn't stick well to the base, but it doesn't bother me because I'm going to be gluing it on anyway. For the glue, I'm going to use black royal icing, but I would recommend that you use light colored royal icing. White icing, I think, works, or like tannish color, because then, like you won't be, you can't see it, it's
yes,
like hidden. If you use dark icing that I'm going to be using now, you will be able to see it. Okay, so these both have to be dry before we can assemble this. So I'm going to actually turn this like this, okay? And then we can position, and I'm going to utilize, because I forgot, I'm going to utilize this little thing and put it under here. All right, so now, all right, so this looks pretty good. Okay. Oh, and of course I forgot the straw, but I do have candies. I bought so many candies. It's my it's my weakness, I have to say. Gummy candies, it's my weakness. And they have so many different varieties here. It's nuts.
Oh, that's fun.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put this in the middle. I don't want it to show too much. Maybe a little more. And I also have a really fun project coming up. I did a poll on my Facebook page asking you guys whether you wanted, what was the question? Beach inspired or like tropical beach, the tropical rainforest house, gingerbread house. So most of you voted for the beach. So I'm also working on that.
Oh, nice. And tell us what consistency the black icing is again.
Oh, this is outline consistency. This is a thicker consistency. It should have, like, when you mix it in a bowl and you take a spoon or a spatula and you pull it up, you should have a peak that is immediately bending down, but it's never going to become blended with the rest of the icing.
Yeah.
Okay, and now onto the candy. All right, so I have, I already started on these. These are so good. These have, I especially like the ones with the white center. These are really good. But because we are going with the watermelon theme, I also have these. I bought these because these are hearts. These are kind of very mild tasting, I have to say. But they're all like natural. There's no artificial, or like, I guess it says, what does it say? Spanish folks?
Natural.
I guess it's not natural because it's not very, the flavor is very mild, I have to say. It's not like super.
I think it's part of their regulations there. They can't do
all of them. Like even these are aromas. Like, I guess it means the flavorings and colors are all natural, right? So in the red, Marlyn can enlighten us. What's in the red?
The red, I'm not sure what. I know it's orange is carrot, and they use spinach for the green. For the red,
red be beets.
Oh, it very well could be the beets. It's yeah. Spinach.
They use spinach for the green. For the green. All right, so I have been munching on these, as you can see. You could put smaller, I mean, obviously, ideally, you want to wear gloves when you're handling these. You could put smaller ones. I don't know if I can fit them. I could probably fit. Oh no, let's stick with 2. It's plenty because I want to be able to put in the straw. All right. You could put candies, other candies, obviously, but I didn't find any other candy in watermelon colors.
And then you did a post once with those watermelon sprinkles. Those would be so cute.
I'm sorry?
Remember the watermelon sprinkles?
Watermelon sprinkles, yes. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, I forgot. Yes. Oh, I should have talked to you. Oh, yes, I forgot. I did a project with watermelon. Yes, they are specifically watermelon sprinkles. I forgot. Okay, let's see if I can fit this in. I actually decorated the handle on both sides. I'm just going to give it a little wiggle. Okay, and then you basically want to let that dry. I'm just going to demonstrate. It is going to stand on its own like this, which is super cool. And the very last thing that I forgot, we are supposed to outline this little watermelon. So let me just quickly outline it. Oops. Oh. And I'm not using, I have to say, this is not like, I didn't use kitchen sink black. This is actually, it has never been black. It's more like a dark, very dark gray. Although it appears now, like when I made it yesterday, I don't know if you can tell, but it's not like very, like it's not black. It's
okay.
It's a shade. It's a shade before black. All right, so this is the one we did a few minutes ago, and I forgot to attach watermelon. So I'm just gonna add a blob of icing. Sure.
Oh, how long is this gonna take to dry?
Oh, this I would say about 6 to 7 hours. Okay. Regular. You do the flood, and like honestly, you don't have to wait for the top. For this section to completely like be crusted over, because you see I'm adding the line. The reason I did it separately is to give me more time to do wet on wet here.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if I have to flood this, I mean then it's a pain. So I decided to kind of divide it into sections. So I did this section first, so I had enough time to do all these little details, and then I added the handle and the top. Okay. And this is your watermelon spritzer. All right, so once you're done with it, once it dries, okay, you can. It actually smells so good because of the candies. So I actually took this is a paper drinking straw, and I cut it in half because it was too long, and then I just stick it inside. I did fold it for the purposes of the video that I shared on my Instagram. Like you don't have to. And then this is not crusted yet, but you would add it inside, okay? So I'm just gonna add this one like this.
Oh, it's so cute. I love that.
Okay, I'll show you. I'm gonna move myself, and I'll show you this way.
Oh.
Okay, bye guys. It does smell really good because of the candies inside, and it's super. I think it's super cute. So
that is awesome. I love it.
Yeah. All right, I think we are in time. Okay, Margot. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys like this project, and
that was fun.
Everything is in. Here you go. In the coffee shop.
Okay. Hello, guys. So I think I resolved my technical difficulties, hopefully. And so in my coffee shop, I have the templates for the Super Dad. There was talk of a Father's Day project, so I came up with this with the diamond cookie cutter. I have to say it's a shape that I do like. It's one of those that can be a little bit kind of if you look at it this way, or you could fit different things. You could actually puzzle them together a little bit, and obviously would make a really nice actual diamond. So it's a good shape to add to your collection. And for the design, I started with a base layer of just really runny icing. This dries super quickly. If you want it to be more opaque, you want to add a little bit of white food gel to it, but it's not absolutely necessary. I'm going to be airbrushing that. So it's just to kind of hide the cookie and give you a little bit of just a canvas, you know. And shout out to my daughter. She just started working with me and she edited all these videos for me, and I'm so excited about it.
That's awesome.
Did such a good job. She even loaded them all to StreamYard for me and everything.
Oh, wow.
So great to have a little bit of help.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's the templates. I made them out of cardstock. So sometimes I make them out of plastic. And like I've said before, when they're in my mind a little bit more disposable, not something I'm going to be using again, well, I make them out of cardstock. And because you obviously can't see through cardstock, I'll usually cut them exactly the shape of the cookie so that I can know how to align it, right? That's kind of the way. So this one here I used before and it did curl, you see, and so that's going to be problematic to use it again.
It did curl for you?
Well, I think it's because it's, you know, there's a lot of it like not there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of the cutter like not there. So today I'm actually using the color drip colors. So this is their yellow and this is their airbrush.
Can you tell us more about these? How many colors do you have?
A few, maybe. And so here's my airbrush. And when you're shopping around for an airbrush, some of the guns are painted. You want to avoid getting a painted gun. It just makes it very tricky to see in there. And all that's in my coffee shop, my supply list. If you want to know about my favorite airbrush, there's a free supply list in the coffee shop. And there's the links to all of our coffee shops. And then there's a listing for the actual template. So I'm just squeezing one drop of the food color in there. I just need one. You can not even see it. Once it's in there, it's very difficult to put back in the bottle. So you want to really go a little bit at a time. Now, when you're airbrushing, it makes wind. So if you want to just kind of hold your stencil down.
I love yours. I love your magnets. Like they're perfect. You know, like I have the blue ones. You know, it's 1/4 inch thick. I mean,
yeah.
you always come out with these, you know, sophisticated magnets. They're really cool.
They're from the dollar store. So now I just am misting. So this is when it's both decoration and guidelines. So when I remove the stencil, I expose what I was protecting. A portion of it is protected, and all in one fell swoop, I have the guidelines and my yellow background. Now, while this is wet, if you wanted, you could add a little bit of gold. I did that on this one. And the gold that I used is in the supply list. It's this product here, Roxy Rich. So you want to spray that when the airbrush is like moist still. It helps it like kind of attach to the surface, you know, like it secures. And now I'm using the blue again from Drip Color. This is a powder. They sell a powdered product. Here, I'm just going to show. I'm going to be using red in a minute, but I just want to show you it. So here I'm mixing the red, and it's powder. Before I saw Jeremy wrote that he has trouble like not over coloring, like he always goes too dark. Well, you're literally like, it's a different level of control. You can add one speck of powder at a time until you get the color that you want. I really like, this is still a little bit not quite red, but it really turns quite red when you leave it like cure there. And now this is a 2 piping tip. Again, the PME. I forgot to add that to my supply list, but they sell them in that brand PME. They have them in all the sizes, a little bit like Wilton. And I'm touching down and I let the spaghetti fall onto the cookie. I'm close, but I'm not dragging the piping tip on the surface. I find that that helps it hold its shape. So the end of the piping tip is around, the icing comes out, it's round. And so if you let it fall, well, you're letting that shape be maintained, right? And you're getting.
Lynn asking, Lynn Ann, do powdered colors intensify over time, would you say?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I've just used some Master Elite. The only thing that I have to say about the powdered colors, gosh, they color everything. If you get a speck of it on your counter or anything, it's all like, it colors it. Yeah, it's very, very strong.
Yeah, I didn't have too much of a problem. So I don't know. I don't have the Master Elite. So now I'm outlining. You can see it like, either you can see it as you're outlining the yellow or you're outlining your letters, whatever. You're basically outlining what's white. And here, so it's a tricky color to see, the yellow. So you don't like to see that, make sure what you've gotten and what you haven't gotten. And especially like, I've got crazy lights on for you guys. But if you're doing it yourself in your house, like it's easy to see.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm creating like my flood areas that I'm going to be filling later in red, right?
And what is this consistency? This is your
like
usual?
yours. It's like your black one there. You want an icing that's not going to kill your hand, because that's pointless. You don't need to have super, super thick to do lines. You just want an icing that's going to, like, I'd compare it, I guess, to honey. If I had to compare it to something, you know, like maybe
honey?
yogurt.
Depending on the honey, huh? I used to compare it to toothpaste, but then I realized that different, like Crest toothpaste is more fluid than Colgate. So I'm like, okay, I should stop that, because people then, you know, like everybody's using different. Or maybe I should specify it's a Colgate, I don't know, bright diamond white or whatever. So I stopped using that terminology because it confused people, I think. This is so cute. I love the blue and yellow. I think it's one of my favorite color combinations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the classic kind of Superman color palette, right? And then you could pair them with whatever. I mean, Dad's favorite things.
Oh,
And
Sally, you already are piping like that. Sorry, Sally was saying when I grow up, I want to pipe like that.
Yeah, she is.
I'm sorry, Mar, you were saying.
And so here there's a small area inside the A. So you just don't worry if you're hiding most of the yellow, right? That's not a huge deal. And then here I'm just closing off that area. I'm not outlining the letters where they connect to the frame around. I don't know if you can see that. Like
yes, I'm just noticing it. Yes,
that I did. All right, so now this is all done, and you can let this crust a bit. And so there's different ways to do this. Like I could have done all this white in red and then came on top and outlined in blue. But this is slightly more forgiving if you're not a super piper yet. Like, because I'm going to be coming in with the red, sinking that in, I'm essentially going to be hiding part of those blue lines. So it can be helpful. You can kind of decide. Another great thing if you're a beginner is if you're not liking your lines, not all designs work, but sanding sugar is a great, you coat your lines in sanding sugar. So now I'm just adding some structural support here for my frame so that when I fill it, that this stays nice and rounded. The other version that I did before that I showed you guys, the words were slightly smaller. So my outer perimeter is bigger. This one here, it's like a tight fit. So you want to let this dry a little bit, not crazy, you know, like overnight, just a little bit, so that when you come in with the red, and you can see here, the border's a little bit wider. And now I've got the red. You can see how red it is. I mean, it's really, and I think that the dusts, I haven't done a lot of experimenting, but I think that they're probably less susceptible to this, you know, the bleeding and all that.
Yes, I have heard that from people that use the dust to color, that it's not as
So
prone to
ideally,
bleeding.
so that you don't have to fiddle too much, you're doing pressure, right? Pressure piping. So you're filling the area. You don't want to have a huge hole. And you see as I move, I'm essentially filling in the whole space, because then I don't have to come in with my needle and fiddle. It'll kind of self-level. So you want to go in and fill each of those little letters. I'm at a weird angle there, but so
Batman is awesome. People are loving it. Everybody is loving your design. Jeremy has some specific questions. How do we? You go, Amber.
Mar, if we don't let it dry completely overnight, how do we turn this into a 3-day project?
a 3-day project? I don't understand the question.
Well, it's a Jeremy joke.
Oh,
Well, you can make it a 3-day project. You make 400 of those, and you will be cranking those up for
That's
5 days.
true.
Super
if
dead.
you wanted, I guess too, you could create this portion as a transfer. If you wanted to have the template behind and then drop it into a yellow icing. There's different ways. And of course you could create a stencil.
Oh, everybody's loving your stencils. People are learning from you, creating their own stencils based on your tutorials.
Awesome. So now you see this border in blue. It didn't matter that it was blue because it's going to be completely hidden, and it's just structural to give it more of like a bump on the perimeter, you see? And so it's just, I mean, icing is nothing but egg white, you know, meringue powder and water and like powdered sugar. There's not much there. So if sometimes it's droopy, you can kind of find ways to kind of make things work. And so the structural supports are one of these, I don't know, hack, would we say, to help your icing, you know,
We have several questions about the drip color. Do you know where people can purchase it?
So drip color in my supply list, the link that I added is actually the distributor page on their website. So if you get the download of my supply list, all the distributors of this particular product, because I bought them directly from the manufacturers. They're in Argentina.
And by supply list, Marlyn, means if you are new to our template platform, Marlyn also has a template shop, coffee.com. I'm going to, it's here. So there you can, it's a free supply list that you can get. And I believe you have them with each live that we do. Yeah, and it's a PDF. So when you download, when you download the PDF, it has a clickable either images or links. So you can click on the image or the link, and it will take you to that product website where you can purchase it. Most of them are on Amazon, but some are outside of that.
Yeah, so this is just because they're not on Amazon. This is like they're just coming into North American market, and so there aren't that many yet selling their product. But
yeah, so Shirley is asking if you're buying directly, you must I guess spend a lot of money. But can you purchase individual colors?
You know, like I said, they're just coming into North American market. There are sellers, and that's what I linked, is their distributors that they, you know, have agreements with. So you can go and look at that list. There's all over the world, they have different sellers.
Lauren is asking, what consistency is the red?
This is pretty runny, but you can see here, because I didn't fiddle with it, and that like I didn't get it quite to heal right there because I was focused on this side, but it's giving me, like, you need a certain thickness to maintain a roundness. If the icing is too runny, it shellacks, it varnishes, it doesn't stay like that super round puffy icing. Here, I'll do another one. I have this one here that I piped earlier. So this, I have a lot. They make the pens. They do make those super fine pens, and those are awesome. Seriously, that fine marker is the smallest fully edible on the market. And you see this one here is narrower. Like I said, I cut it in 2 sizes to just see. And so here I don't even have room to add a support line to the perimeter.
Well, I'd say it's like 22nd, no? Or
Yeah.
thicker?
Yeah. These are just fun. You have, you're looking for something to make for Dad. You can make a couple of these and a couple of easy chocolate chip. At the end of the day, he's not fussy. He's just looking for a snack.
Sarah, I wanted to say there are two products that interest me this week. One is from Cookie Countess and one is from Borderlands Bakery. Cookie Countess came out with a Stencil Shield. Have you seen that? Mm-hmm. It's actually stainless steel. I think it's stainless steel. Mm-hmm. And it's, I would say it replaces the silk screen, I think. But it said you have to wash it like every 3-4 times because it catches a lot of color, but it does give you sharp lines. And another product is Borderlands Bakery that I really would like to try. It's 2-in-1 tool that we use, but she made it, I believe that's what I saw, she made it into, I think it's stainless steel.
Oh, wow.
Or a heavy duty kind, but it is the same design. Everybody's loving your stencils and your coffee shop. People are using your stencils.
Awesome. So the machine, the Silhouette or the Cameo, whichever you decide, it is a pricey investment initially, but the freedom that it affords you after that, you're able to do literally all, make whatever you need for your project. You can customize. You can take your corporate orders to another level when you're replicating logos. You can make the stencils and replicate the logos, not kind of the same, exactly the same. And you can do it quickly. That's the other thing too. And all the cookies will look the same. So stencils, a projector's fine, but oftentimes I see people projecting the image and then tracing it with the marker before they come in and actually pipe. So you're adding a step for no reason. Mm-hmm. And I think that you could probably charge a company for the setting fee of their corporate logo. Let's say you were to come to an agreement with, let's say, a real estate agent where you would be making sets every time he, wants to thank a customer. Well, you have, his standard stuff on hand. Once you've made the stencil, you charge him an initial setting fee, and then you have that on file, and you can crank out his cookies when he places his orders. Mm-hmm.
Well, Olga, you can just use silkscreen, and you can purchase silkscreen instead of do it yourself. Exactly. You can. There
it is. So you have your super dad, or you could do super mom.
Yeah. Super auntie.
Super auntie. Super whoever.
Yes. Super kid.
Yeah.
Super kid.
Maybe not super cookie decorator, but.
So you have to kind of if you want to keep it, you have to have 3.
Here, I'm just going to show
3 letters.
So this is an upcoming project that's coming out in my group on June 1st. But you see, I'm even decorating the box. This is cut with the same machine.
Oh, yeah.
You can use the machine for more than your cookie stencils. I prepared the box, the cookies are in there, and there's my front label. So really, there's so many things you can do with it. Mm-hmm. Like usual, your imagination is the only thing that's limiting. So that's it. Oh, 59.27.
Wow.
I think I'm gonna have a little drink myself. I'm gonna turn it this way. Celebrate. Wow. Yeah, we did well. Thank you for joining us, guys.
Oh, your dad, did he like the painted cookie? That's cute. That's cute. Yes, if you have one, I love it. Oh, thank you, Trisha. Thank you. The silk screen, if you want a hack, you go to the fabric store, you buy veil material and a big embroidery hoop. You throw that in your embroidery hoop and you have a screen. Oh, the stencil from the silk screen one that I got for that dress there. That was it last week? Did I do that last week?
I think so. Yeah.
That's it.
I think so. Yes, I think you did that last week.
So again, here's our link to the coffee shops.
And again, we were live on Instagram. I don't know. Did anyone catch us on Wednesday? I did 2 lives. The first live, I showed how, I don't have them here, but they were really, really nice. I really love making them. Ranunculus or buttercup flowers with royal icing. They were super tiny. So you can check it out. I still have it there, but I'm going to actually take it down, and then I will have a tutorial that I'm working on. And Amber was also live. We're together on Wednesday, so don't forget to tune in next week as well. I think it's somebody's turn to go live. we have a schedule. We rotate because on Instagram it's a bit. The screen is vertical, so even though you can fit 3 people, it's so small, then you wouldn't really see what the person that is decorating doing. So that's why it's only 2 of us, and the other person is there to man the comments, because it's very difficult when you're doing it yourself to kind of see the comments. Yes, Amber shirts. Yes, she did rainbow shirts. Yeah. And how did it turn out? Did you do the scratch?
Didn't do it. Well, because Sydney has been sick this week, so I didn't get to go back to those shirts yet. But next week I will finish that up and show you how it turned out.
I can't wait to see that. She's doing like this, scratch, right? It's scratch art,
like a rainbow scratch off. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, on cookies. So hopefully, I can't wait to see. Hopefully it will turn out the way you want.
Hopefully, you never know.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Even if it doesn't work out, like you're still sometimes learning for the next project.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You always. I feel like even when something doesn't work out, you take something away from it. Like you have to look at it. Like we wouldn't be here if we looked at everything we made that it's bad. Because there have been in my case, there have been a lot of things that, oh gosh, what was I thinking? It's terrible. But then you did something in the project that was good, 1 thing or 2 things, and then you take that away and you use it in another project.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a little wordy. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Great.
We're going to be live next week. I don't know what's happening next week. Who is decorating?
Me.
Let me look at the calendar. So on Instagram, on the 2nd, it's me and you, and I think though it's you decorating. And then on Friday,
me and you means
sorry, Pan and me. Pan is decorating, and me is.
I am decorating. Okay, so I'll be doing 2 things on Instagram.
And then on Friday, I'm off on the 4th, and the 2 of you are working. So it better be good.
So what is it? What are we doing?
Well, I'm doing something tropical. I showed you already a little bit. I don't know what I don't know what yet, but it's gonna be tropical. I did something really cute, and I wanna go ahead and.
So if Amber's flexible, maybe you guys make some suggestions, inspire her to make something.
Yes. What should I do next week? I've got no plans.
And the color is drip color, not drip dust. It's called drip color.
So Amber is going to make.
Oh, this is cute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's a cute idea.
I don't think you've ever done a toucan.
We have not.
And they're a cool bird, I have to say. They are a cool bird. All right, guys. Well, thank you. You can you know, write in her comments section on Facebook and Instagram. She reads all that, so let her know what you think.
And as always, you can rewatch the live if you missed it. It's available in all of our pages and also on YouTube. Thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.